Welcome back to Pancake FC, the YouTube channel named after the fantasy team named after my dog. Today, we are ranking every MLS team's best player. I really like doing these tier list videos. They're pretty chill and fun for me to make, and I hope similarly so to watch. If you do find yourself enjoying the video, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. For every person who does so, Pancake gets an extra treat, and that's not a joke. I do really do that. Speaking of Pancake, there she is. Not on the couch today. She's hanging out in her dog bed, just chilling on the bottom right of your screen. And not doing a lot else. She's kind of a lazy dog, to be honest. Isn't that right, Pancake? She's not paying attention at all. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So the tiers are elite, really gosh darn good. It's more of a team effort, really, and that's your best player. So it's kind of a half and half a ranking of the players themselves and a little bit the teams and their team building. But we'll go ahead and get Messi out of the way. Obviously, he's elite. I almost made just a whole separate tier just called Messi, but you know, it's Messi. What else can you say? Lucho Costa, I also think, is just an elite talent in this league. Easily one of the top best players. Santi Rodriguez, not sure exactly where I want to put Santi. I mean, he's not on the level of like Acosta and Messi. I mean, no one's on the level of Messi, but we'll stick Santi Rodriguez in really gosh darn good for now. And maybe once these start to fill up a little bit more, I might bump Santi up to elite. I'm going to guess, we'll mess around on FB Ref some today too. I'm going to guess that Santi's underlying numbers are very good. He's scored 5 goals, 3 assists this year, and they're pretty good. I'm surprised his XG is so low. He gets in a lot of good spots and has a lot of time on the ball, but this, for the most part, looks about right. I mean, Santi, you can't do a whole lot better than him. Emil Forsberg, probably also really gosh darn good. Has been a very important player for the Red Bulls since coming in on pretty much all their set pieces. Scored a brace the other day. This is Aiden Morris for the Columbus Crew. This is kind of a controversial one. I think, you know, in a sense, that Morris is their best player for one thing, but also more important than Cucho, especially for the way that they play for their system. I really like Aiden Morris. I think he's really gosh darn good. Let's take a look. I'm going to guess his passing numbers especially are going to be top percentile. I think he's scored 2 or 3 goals this year as well. So we've got 2 goals, 1 assist. And yep, the passing numbers are pretty dang good. He does play the 6 pretty much, and interceptions and tackles also pretty good. He's got some really good XG as well. Just a really outstanding defensive midfielder. Very important for what Columbus try to do. For Toronto, I went with Bernardeschi. I think he's just a little bit more important to what they do than Lorenzo Insigne. He's played more minutes this year because of Insigne's injuries and has been really good, kind of converting to a sort of like right wing back role. I'm going to say also really gosh darn good. You know, when he's kind of zoned out, not really bought into the team vision as he was last year, he's basically useless. But this year, Herdman has got him and his Italian counterpart really back on board, playing at their best, and he's been really outstanding. Ashley Westwood, I think I would say, it's probably been Charlotte's best player this year. You could probably go with either one of their center backs too, as Charlotte's defense has been really good. You could probably go Christian Kalina too, who's been really outstanding in net. But I went with Westwood. He's actually popped in a couple goals and has been, I think, pretty dominant in that DM spot. It feels a little bit too disrespectful to put him in team effort, although I wouldn't necessarily put him on the level of these guys. Let's check out his FB Ref page. I bet it's actually like surprisingly really good. I bet statistically he shows out very well. He's been really solid. Scored a couple goals. I was wrong. It's not as good as I thought it was going to be. Not even close to as good as I thought it was going to be. But you know, maybe I should have gone with somebody else. So we'll stick him in team effort, really. I mean, you know, are you going to say one of their center backs is their best player? They pair together really well, but individually, like, I'm not so sure. Maybe it should have been Kalina. Even if it was Kalina, I probably still would have stuck him in this tier. But anyway, Gazdag for Philadelphia I've got down as their best player. I could have gone with Julian Carranza, but it seems like he's going to be leaving soon. to go play for Feyenoord. So I went with Gaz. Really, really solid player for them who can play a number of different spots. I don't think he's on the level of these really gosh darn good guys. He kind of famously pads his stats with penalties. He is a very, very good penalty taker, to be fair. I just wouldn't say really gosh darn good. I think he's good, probably maybe very good, but really not on this level. Philly, it's more of a team effort. Hani Mukhtar is really gosh darn good. Not too long ago, I would have definitely said he's elite, but he's definitely regressed a little bit over the last season and a half. But still, a very, very good player. Extremely important for Nashville. Christian Benteke, also probably really gosh darn good. Just about one of the best target men strikers in the league. Facundo Torres for Orlando City has actually been really poor this year. His form has really dropped off, really tailed off, as has like all of Orlando City's players' form. Even like Luis Muriel, who has been really good in Serie A, was brought in and has been not good. Duncan Maguire has probably been their best player this year, but Facundo Torres is definitely their big shot. I'm going to stick him in the bottom tier. That's your best player just based off of his form this year. I bet that his underlying numbers are very poor. Let's see if we can confirm that or not. He scored 2 goals, attributed 1 assist this year. They're actually not that bad, but I'm not moving him. Thiago Almada is really, really good for Atlanta. Probably elite, to be fair. He's not long for this league. He's not going to be in this league very much longer. He's incredible talent. I actually kind of, one of my personal MLS hot takes is I think if he does go to a top 5 league that he's going to struggle. I don't necessarily think his game is going to translate too well, at least not at first. If a team wants to take him and develop him, give him time to adjust his game, then I think he can work out. But if he's going to be thrust right into like a starting or important role, I think he's really going to struggle. I don't think his physicality quite matches, like especially like the Prem, the speed and physicality of the game, and he can't really play, or he hasn't really played that much on the wing. I think he would struggle. I do still think he's an absolutely brilliant player, though. I really, really, really like Thiago Almada, but if he goes to a top 5 league soon and struggles, you heard it here first. Mathieu Chouanier for CF Montreal. Really good player, having a pretty solid season, trying to get a new contract right now. But, with Montreal, it's really more of a team effort. He's not super, super, super standout, but still a very good player. Hugo Kuipers, I guess, is Chicago's best player. I thought about going Chris Brady, but Kuipers is their new big money striker signing. He's really dependent on service, on getting help from the rest of his team, and it's just not really quite working yet for Chicago. He could kick in if they maybe bring in a better 10 or something like that, but for now, he's definitely in this bottom tier. Carlos Hill is elite. This is not Nacho Hill, to be clear. Carlos Hill is definitely an elite player, one of the best in the league. Had the MVP season not too long ago. He was almost kind of an MVP candidate last year. Chicho for Real Salt Lake, also definitely elite. One of borderline best players in the league this year, has been incredible for Real Salt Lake. Ricky Puig, I would argue, as I might in a video soon, is the best and has been the best player in the league this year. At least for sure the most important. He just does everything for Galaxy. The amount of touches he takes is ridiculous. The way they just hand the ball off to him always to figure something out is nuts. They are entirely 100% dependent on him, and it's working because he is that good. Denny Bouanga for LAFC is definitely their best player. Definitely an elite talent. He's weirdly at times kind of been like almost a bit of a parody of himself in some games, just missing ridiculous sitters. Really easy chances, but for the most part has been very, very, very good this year. Mainly at home, I guess. He's having some wacky away form. I'm not sure what's up with that, but Denny Bouanga is still one of the best players in the league. Robin Lod has been really good this year for Minnesota, but definitely falls into the team effort category. Sebastian Driussi, I would probably also stick down there. He's been pretty decent when healthy this year, but not quite, I would say, to the standard of the guys in this second to top tier. Ryan Gauld, I think, is elite, and that's a little bit of bias because I just love Ryan Gauld. I think he's so much fun. He started off the year kind of slow, but recently his form has really, really kicked into gear. He's got no problem carrying that Vancouver team. I think he's an elite Major League Soccer player. Mihailovic, I'm not sure which one of these to stick him in. We might need to consult the numbers on this one. He's been pretty good in spells this year. Often he's been a little absent, and maybe that could just be an argument that Colorado need to rely more on him. He's got 4 goals and 4 assists. That's pretty good. Underlying numbers are pretty solid as well. Especially working off this low of XG, getting 4 goals. It's pretty nice. I think I'm going to stick him in team effort because he's not like the guy or one of those guys. I mean, he is one of the guys for Colorado, but he's not like the guy in a sense that most of the players in this tier are. I would say this is probably harsh to stick him here, but I don't know. It feels right. Hector Herrera for Houston Dynamo is really gosh darn good. He had an amazing season last year. An amazing season. Just coming back to health has already showed some of his top legendary skill. He's one of the best players in the league. I really like Hector Herrera. Evander is elite, having an insane season for Portland. Borderline MVP form has been crazy good. Seattle is a tough one. This is probably a controversial pick. Raul Ruidiaz isn't their best player. If you think he is, then I disagree. And I don't think it's Jordan Morris either. I think it's Jackson Reagan. He's a really solid center back in this league. Any team would be lucky to have him. I just don't think, you could argue Rusnak or João Paulo. I don't know. None of those guys just hit. None of those guys are one of the best in their position in the league. And I think Jackson Reagan is. He's still going to get stuck in the team effort. I mean, actually, probably maybe makes more sense to put him in the bottom tier. That feels harsh, because this isn't an indictment on Jackson Reagan. He's really good, like I just said, one of the best center backs in the league. But, that's your best player. Pedro de la Vega hasn't been healthy enough to make any kind of stake on this claim for Seattle. So, I think that's what we're going to do with that. Roman Berkey is, I think, still the best goalkeeper in the league. I'm going to stick him in really gosh darn good. To a certain degree, it's not ideal, I guess, if your best player is your goalkeeper. But, let's say St. Louis still have 2 or 3 other really good players. So, I think this is fair. Jesus Ferreira, I think, is also really gosh darn good when healthy. He has really struggled with his fitness over the last season and a half, but still one of the best forwards in the league. Christian Espinoza, I think, is maybe elite. Just the way that San Jose leans on him and the way that he delivers constantly. His shoulders can carry that load, I think, is really impressive. I'm going to stick him in really gosh darn good because I do feel like San Jose now are with the arrival of Hernan Lopez, they've got more really good attacking pieces, and San Jose have been really bad this year, even if Christian Espinoza has been pretty good. But he's definitely on the line. I'm going to stick him in really gosh darn good, but he's definitely in the middle. And then Eric Tommy for SKC, I think maybe team effort. He's been actually pretty good this year, kind of switching to playing more on the wing. I'm going to stick him in team effort, but I do think he's a little bit close to being on the line between bottom and second to bottom tier. So overall, this is where we're going to leave it. This is pretty much where I would rank every team's best player. Again, if you did enjoy the video, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Pancake will get an extra treat for every person who does so. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to y'all in the next one.